Oh, pause that. All right. Hey, look, we get our traveling folks too. Good morning. It is Tuesday morning. I know it is the day after a holiday, so that makes it tough. We've got a lot of people. I'm getting text messages that people are coming in. Normally, I don't look at my phone. So, when they get here, they get here. But we're going to get started. And actually, I'm going to, hey, Mandy, could you do me a favor and just grab me my briefcase real quick? I have something in there that I need. Thank you. So we're going to get started because we've got a lot of stuff to cover today. First of all, November birthdays. Do we have any November birthdays here? Anybody? Yay! Happy birthday! Thank you, ma'am.
Good morning. You're here? Oh, thank you. How are you doing?
This just gives me my notes for later with all of our lovely numbers. So wanted to have those ready to go. All right, so we got a few November birthdays here and certainly a lot on there. So happy birthday to anyone with a November birth date. All right, we've also got lots of November anniversaries. Craig is not here, unfortunately, but look at that, 13 years, no surprise. Several others have been here for quite a while with the John Hall days. Actually, I guess Craig is the only one on there from the John Hall days. Isn't that funny? What?
Wow.
So,
All those people up there.
quite a few folks. All right. And let's get to our $1 Million Club for last month. Let's move this out of the way. Hopefully this will disappear. Go away. All right. So last month, and we'll get to these numbers here in just a little bit, but the market kind of picked up, didn't it, in October? How about that? So all these folks hit $1 million. We've got folks jumping on over here.
I think that's only that price point.
No. No. It was lots of other people.
Oh, no. I've talked to lots of them.
Well,
Are you trying to find people for the Zoom?
no, people are coming in on the Zoom. I just was trying not to get the pictures there. So you good point though, right? So how many felt that the higher end was moving and not the lower end of the market? And see, I think most people will tell you last month that it was the lower end of the market. And this weekend, I will tell you, I've gotten calls from agents working the higher end. And since the election now, we've got the higher end starting to move again. As typical as we head towards an election, doesn't matter when that occurs, every 4 years with the presidential election, we seem to hit this month or a couple of weeks at least before the election that just kind of slows down the market. But because the interest rates dropped just before that, we did see some activity on the lower end. Some of these, if you look in your, well, you can only see the top 10 in your zone, but some of those were people that did 4 or 5 deals. So they did combine to hit that $1 million. But we did hit 100 lives this month. And can you see the 40,996,000? So we did hit 40 million last month, and I'll show those numbers to you in comparison. So last month, actually, the month before, we only hit 75 lives and pretty close number, 39 million. So it wasn't very far off in terms of dollars, but 25 more people were served by this office. So that's a huge jump when you're talking, going up from 75 to 100. That's a huge jump in 1 month. All right, so let's see if it'll take me on to the next one. We do welcome a couple of new agents. Are any of those new agents here? I don't know that. Hopefully Madison is online. So we've got some folks coming in. Thank you. And I don't see Melissa Gasper here, but she's usually here, and she brought in her 3rd agent. What does that mean? Does anybody know? She gets a whole year for free. So yes, you too can do that. All right, let's look at numbers though. Here's your market snapshot. You guys all received a copy of this. The October is on this side. I've updated the stuff in the middle. You will see the difference between September and October. Sales were up $12,000. Sold numbers up 375 units. Under contract down a little. Days on market shift of only 1. Active and coming soon though, look at that, up 1,300. Not unusual for this time of year, right? That's pretty typical. We start adding a little bit towards the end of the year as people are finishing out things. So, but one of the things I want to point out, you can look side by side, but this is year over year. I think this is the most interesting because our solds are up 12.6% year over year. That means last October, we've sold 12% more units than last year, and contracts are up 18.6%. That's a huge number, folks. So really exciting to see that. Let's see where we go with this breakdown though. Here we go. So, and don't read this since March. So since September, September was at 566 was the average sales price, and you can see it's now 578. That's where I had the difference there on the other slide. Active and coming soon, we are up 1,300 units. This is for the general market, right? This is the ARMLS. We'll dive down into the Maricopa County in just a minute. So sold listings up just a little bit, UCB and pending down just a tad, okay? Now, Maricopa County, let's look here because you will see that there's a huge shift from the 15,000, if you can kind of see that 15,257 compared to the active coming soon up above. Yeah, you can add the coming soon in there, but it's not enough to make a difference. Again, that ARMLS is all over the place. We know if we open up our maps, you'll see things from Tucson to Flagstaff to Gila Bend. I mean, it's all over, right? So if you want to look at your stats, please zoom it down to Maricopa County, or if you do stuff in Pinal, that's fine. But try to focus on your area because your numbers comparing to one to another is a little more difficult if you're comparing to something in Flagstaff, right? That's not going to compare for your market. So Maricopa County single family actives are at 11,612, totally different number than 20,000, right? So that's really what we're dealing with around here. That's up 1,400 units, folks. UCB, CCBS, and pending, okay, down 24. That's negligible, right? Not a big shift here. Coming soon. You do a lot looking at this number because coming soon, really, some people use it, some people don't. So it really doesn't give us a true picture of the market. But sold does. Last month, it says in Maricopa County, the number was 3,471. That's down 457 units. Kind of unusual because we were seeing this huge number of increase. But in fact, maybe they're condos. Maybe there are not as many of the luxuries. I'm not quite sure because we're actually down units. Not an overwhelming number, but we are still down. Now, what I like to look at is the 10-mile radius of our office. And this is as of yesterday. Active listings are up a little bit. We've got 3,598 in single family homes. We're still up just a little bit, right? UCB, CCBS, and pending, though, are down a tad. Single family homes are down again just a little bit. My guess is from my calls this weekend, those numbers will increase because I'm getting a lot of calls of activity going on right now. So I think now that the election's over, people are trying to figure out, okay, now what can I do? Let's move forward. Coming soon, again, I'm not worried about that number. These are all little numbers. Sold, though, 909, that's down 500 units in our 10-mile radius. So, you know, that Paradise Valley area, Scottsdale, it is down, and single family down 300 units. So those numbers are looking a little lower than what we were thinking about earlier. Now, this comes with your market updates. I hope you realize that there are a couple of different slides there. The reason I bring this up, if you look at October right now of 2024, October had 5,832 sales. If you go back, that takes us back to just below September. Well, I'm sorry, October. It gives us more than October of 2022. So we are improving, folks. That is great to see. And the reason I bring this up, right? Our market conditions are based over the whole year because we have a cyclical market. right? Now, I wonder if we went back to, when was it, 2020? Well, that doesn't count because that was in the middle of the pandemic, so that won't work. But if you look at the year over year changes at this time of the year, you can see we are improving, and that's a much needed improvement to see 5,800 sales in October. That's really awesome for us. Okay. This is the one you like to see. So let's take a look at these stats here. This is running the the 1004 MC, the Fannie Mae stats. So you can see the month over month kind of transition as we've moved throughout the year. And right now we're sitting on number of comparable solds at 10,801. That's for the 3-month period. And then if you look here, this is where I got those numbers. The sales price increased to 505. Now, again, this is Maricopa County single family homes only. So this is narrowed down to what we are usually working in, our market conditions. You'll see that the month increase, the housing supply increased to 4 months. So we stretched out just a little bit longer. It was about 3.5 last month. And then the list price stayed exactly the same at 575. So from September to October, that did not change. Now let's go to the 10-mile radius. Oh, this is just showing it. If you want, anybody wants to see those, I can share those. So 10-mile radius of the office, sorry, my little arrows there, I was trying to flip them around. So single family median sales price increased to 700,000 and the list price increased to 829,000. That's kind of an odd jump there. The housing supply in this case decreased just a little here. We had a little slower September in our 10-mile radius than over Maricopa County in general. Any questions about all those numbers? I threw those out quick and fast for you. How many of you got calls over the weekend to look at homes? 1, 2. Yeah. That does not count. Thank you. Oh, well, that is good. Glad you referred them out since you can't do real estate anymore. All right. Any other questions? Anything? All right. So here's our 10-mile radius. And I'm going to give you the other slide. Whoops, where'd it go? I did the 10-mile radius. This is just the longer version of it, just to show you how it spreads out. I had just copied that up on the other one. Okay. So how many of you have not written a contract since August? Okay, if you don't want to yeah, thank you very much. If you don't want to raise your hand, that's fine. If you are in need of a refresher, please remember we have not gotten rid of this on your weekly newsletter. Yes, I'm glad you've not written a contract. On your weekly newsletter, we have shrunk this to a little header with one link that you can get to all of this information. It has not gone away. So if some of you did not sit through, say, the listing portion of this training, it is available to you each and every day. If you are going to take a listing and have not looked at the new training on the new forms, please take an hour and a half and watch that training, please. Okay, so it's still there. We're trying to shorten that newsletter so it all is condensed. So you're seeing a lot of things with links on it. Now, hopefully you've seen that we gave you this new wording out there. So policy on increasing buyer broker agreements. There was a lot of concern that the lawsuit stated you cannot increase your buyer broker agreement. It's in your newsletter, Joni, just so you know. Okay, so you cannot increase your buyer broker agreement percentages or dollar amount once you've started working with your buyer broker. So we're trying to comply with that, but also recognize that sometimes there is a change needed. Let's say you go to a new home subdivision and they're offering whatever they're offering, right? So they're offering some 4 potatoes and you had 2 potatoes, right? Something like that. Well, obviously you need to have a conversation with your buyer. Who does that adjusted amount go to under the current contract and buyer broker agreement? The buyer, right? So in the spirit of that, you need to have a disclosure to make sure that the buyer understands that they're giving up something, and sometimes they're willing to do that. Now, on the new home sales, why would they be willing to do that? Anybody know? Because guess who's not going to get it at a new home sale? The buyer. Because the builders have specific language that say the buyer doesn't get anything more. And they sure as heck don't get that. So you guys need to know that if you are going to a new home subdivision, we do have language here that you can amend that buyer broker agreement. You would use that buyer tenant addendum to amend the buyer broker exclusive employment agreement. Okay. Does that make sense? And we've given you the language you need here. You need to explain it to your buyers so they understand why you're asking for that and make sure that they are comfortable with it. If they're not, that goes to them. But again, on the new homes, they aren't going to get it. So, all right. Yes. Oh, okay. For anybody that doesn't know, Mandy Need, our Deputy Commissioner of the Arizona Department of Real Estate, you want to come up here so people online can actually see? Okay. So, okay. So she's going to deny that? Okay. All right, Mandy.
Sorry, I really love, and I'm not taking over your meeting. Great meeting. I will tell you that I get to go to many different brokerages meetings these days. And I'm always bummed out. No one does market stats. Like, I don't know to tell you how blessed you are that you actually go over the market in your meeting. And I'm always like, you should go to RG's meeting in PV because they do. And I'm here and I'm like, anyways, let's talk about this for a second. This is exactly what I'm seeing downtown. So you have to remember, I don't do forms. As the Department of Real Estate, the forms you use is up to your broker. Per Article 26 of the Constitution is fully up to you and your broker of what forms you use. You can make them on a napkin for all I care. What I care about is how transparent it is to the buyer. And when do buyers get mad? After they've closed and the water heater goes out and they want to blame somebody, right? Like, that's when buyers get mad. They're like, wait a minute, did you not disclose something? And they will go through every single thing you had them sign to try to find something to pin on you. What is so key to remember here, where I would stick an agent if the buyer felt like they were not disclosed to, is an agent might end the conversation on a really positive note, right? Please understand that typically, if there's any difference between these amounts, the adjustment goes back to you and credits you as the buyer. But if a buyer is obtaining a loan, that is limited to what the lender will allow. So I need to make sure that per 1101, I believe it's subsection G or H. I'm not quite positive. One's reasonable care, one's competency. That you're not just leaving it at making it sound fluffy so they sign, right? Like making it sound great. That you're going through all the reasons a buyer may not receive the difference. They need to understand fully. You need to sit there and say, can I answer questions? Do you understand how this works? And give them a minute to respond. Because when an agent doesn't do that, and they go, but that should have been my money, and this is an issue, and it starts harming a seller because the buyer's not closing, or they're mad at you because they didn't fully understand. I'm going to go back to competency. How did you explain this, and how can you prove you explained it? Right? So always remember the limitations for everybody you sit down with in compensation discussions, and understand that this isn't something new. We'll go into that at my 11 o'clock, but understand competency and who you represent matters. If it is a VA buyer, if it's an FHA buyer, if it's a traditional Fannie Freddie buyer, you need to understand that there may be limitations to them being able to receive any kind of credit from your compensation. Also, a lot of buyers like to ask you, right? Can your commission credit go towards my down payment? Can it? No. What are they really asking that they don't understand? Can it go towards some closing costs? Can you help me with closing costs? Can that happen? Yes, but if they're getting a loan, it's dependent on that buyer's financing. So be competent in who you're representing and make sure you're asking questions, and pair up with Melissa. She's your managing broker when you're not sure, because that's what the law calls for. But I know this office is great. So, there's that.
All right, we're gonna hear more from Mandy later. You can tell how much taller she is than I am. Thank you. I'll keep switching that up there.
No, it's just a Midwest thing.
Yeah, it's all right,
And I
thanks.
was for it.
All right, so we gave you another key document in your newsletter. If you did not see it on Sunday, please go in there and grab this. How many of you are working with trusts or LLCs? Nobody? I see them all the time. Trusts or LLCs, right? How do they sign? Right? I can't tell you how many times our compliance people have to reject those documents because it'll say John Smith. Well, that's nice. John Smith is not the LLC, and they're not the trust, right? You have to have something after that. So you will see this in the newsletter. Okay, I'm going to show you what this looks like this is a teaser, right? There's a lot more than 3 lines there. Click here for the full document, but guess what? Does anybody read what this says? Who uses SkySlope forms and cannot figure out how to have a different signature line than the name? Okay, click this. There is line by line training on how to set up your contact so the signature block can say John Smith trustee or John Smith manager, right? So all of those things are there. Let me give you an idea. This is what this document actually looks like. Who can sign? You have all of these things: power of attorney, trust, estate, divorce, corporation conservatorship. All those things are showing you what the signature blocks are supposed to be, right? So thanks to Leah, who put this all together for us. This will be in your working documents in case you lose it, but it is in your newsletter and will be there from now on. So you do have that, but please, if you're using SkySlope forms, go take a few minutes, go through that tutorial so you can see the step-by-step guide of how to put this together, right? Will make it a lot easier. I can't tell you how many people call me and go, how do I get that signature right? So did you have a question? No. Okay. All right. She's like, oh my gosh. All right. Okay. So we have so many things coming up and we'll get to those in just a minute, but I went ahead for my Tuesday training and tactics. We are going to jump onto the Rock Title event, which is Social Media Mastery Proven Tactics for 2025. We will be here live in this room. I will put it on the large screen, or you can log on. The link is in your newsletter to participate with this, but I just didn't feel like I could do a training opposite this when this is something so important for all of you. We've got people from all around the country here that are participating to show us what they've done with social media and transform their businesses. Okay. So please join us Tuesday morning. You're welcome to come in here. Again, I'll put it on this screen so you can watch as Justin does that moderation. So that's November 19th, a week from today. Thank you so much for everybody that has participated. I know Rock Title did several events going to St. Mary's Food Bank. Please, when you're in your newsletter, if you've done any of those activities, you can click there and go ahead and share your community service hours. So we track that and show what Realty One Group all around the world has been doing to give back. It's really, really important for us. We really take great pride in our One Cares program. And we'll talk about that in just one moment. Anybody else wanting to join the Culture Club for 2025, let me know. We'd love to get some things planned for January and February as we start wrapping up this year. Kind of fun things. And coming up is our holiday party. We are going back to Enchiladas. Hope you can join us. Please RSVP. The $11 ticket, just so you know, does go to Arizonans for Children. That, and we are also doing a toy drive, so you can bring toys as well. There is a list. I think you should be able to click on that. If not, I'll make sure to get a link for that. We're trying to especially focus on teens, because oftentimes the younger kids are given a lot of things, but the teens are left out. So there was a whole list of things for teens, and we wanted to provide for those. So I'll try to get that into Sunday's newsletter. We took a vote, for those of you watching our newsletter, for whether you wanted an ugly sweater, a fancy sweater, what was it, a groovy sweater? The results came back, you still wanted an ugly sweater contest. So we're back to having an ugly sweater. And so get out your finest, your sweaters for the fall, for the winter. We'll see what people come up with and have some fun with that. So it's always nice to be outside. And I think the sweaters work really well out there. Last year, I don't even think they turned the heaters on last year. So it was great. It was beautiful last year. So we are outside on the patio. How many of you have never been to Enchiladas? Couple of you. It's at 16th Street in Northern, or Morton, the half mile between Lincoln and well, Glendale and Northern at that point. So there you go. We'll roll over. It's crawling distance. That's right. You can crawl over there. All right. So who saw the note? Who is going to join us for Summit next year? All right, it is in Florida, but the date has changed. It is November 2nd through the 5th in Miami, Florida, and Tony Robbins is one of the guest speakers. I have been asked about group tickets. I am trying to find out whether they are offering our offices any of those discounts. So if you've not bought tickets, just hold off. I will try to see about that this week. No one in Arizona knew anything of the group ticket. So Pat suggested I call our president, Corey. So I'm going to reach out to Corey and find out if they do have the group discount options. But you have a little bit of planning time. So it's not till November of next year. So just about a year from now. Going to be a great event out there. And I'm looking forward to going and seeing what else is going on. Now, our culture club, we've been doing Wine Wednesdays, but they decided to flip it up because, you know, we're getting ready for the holidays, time to walk off a few pounds. So we're going to start Wednesday by walking along Stone Creek for a mile and coming back, and then sharing some recipes, some snacks, and yes, I'll still have some wine and beer and some sparkling water. So if you can join us this Wednesday, please come here. We'll sneak out one of our side doors and go walking. So please come join us. I hope some of you will come and enjoy that. We had a lot of fun with our pop buys, with our pumpkins. I hope some of you were able to grab those if you weren't able to join us on that event. Bring a recipe to share. If there's some special recipe for Thanksgiving that you particularly like, we'd love to see it. And we then have a lot of stuff coming up. So November 15th is our rev ups. Just so you know, we do not do rev ups in December. So we've got a couple more rev ups this year. We've only got 2 Fridays because, of course, we aren't doing anything on Black Friday. That would be totally not attended, and we're off that day anyway. So this Friday, if you have been struggling with open houses, want some good new ideas, if you have never had some training on that, they've got at 9 a.m. successful open houses. And then really the one that I recommend everybody attend, if you have not jumped onto this, if you're an experienced agent or a new agent, go watch the pre-listing presentations at 1 p.m. An incredible, it'll be an hour, maybe an hour and a half max, gives you an idea of how to put together your pre-listing presentation to land those new listings, okay? So those are done on Zoom. Yep, they're all on Zoom and the links are in the newsletter. All right. Do you want to say something about this?
Hi. Now we're pumpkin.
So Melinda, Art, and Roberta from Rock Title are offering to provide you with a lovely pie for your Thanksgiving. You do need to click the QR code by the 18th and sign up so that they can get those pies ordered and over here. And please make sure you come pick up your pies.
Yes.
So you
I
need to.
want them.
No, we don't want them here. So please come do that. And you're delivering them on, oh, pickup is upstairs.
Yeah.
So pickup is upstairs on the 22nd on the week before, the Friday before Thanksgiving. Okay. Awesome. Thank you. We'll get to you in a little bit. So, how many of you knew that there's a code of ethics triennial? Does anybody know what that actually means? Hopefully you do. Does anybody know what the triennial means? Every 3 years, that's right. So every 3 years you have to take a code of ethics, which is always confusing for me because they write COE. I'm like, we kind of use COE as a different term, but COE means code of ethics, okay? When you're talking about your education. So every 3 years you have to do the code of ethics class. Brian White, one of our managing brokers, taught this the other day. We have 2 more classes being scheduled. I will get them on Wednesday's schedule that we send out on Wednesday of upcoming events, because we will have one in November and one in December. They will be free and they will be on Zoom. Okay. How many of you still need to take your code of ethics? Nobody in this room? Awesome. No, because you're brand new. So you don't need it. You no, you're not required to have it by the end of this year yet. You'll need it beginning in January. So I wouldn't take it because it won't count to the next 3 years. So you're fine. They will be on Zoom, and they are free. Thankfully, our office only had about 12 people that still hadn't taken it. So we're looking pretty good for this office, quite honestly. But it's really, really important that that gets taken care of. The department doesn't like it when we don't. She walked away. So. Okay. Now, you guys have so many things that are open and available to you. I need to make sure, are you guys all registered on Rock University? Who is not registered on Rock University? Really? Oh my gosh. Now that I did not expect. Okay, go register. One of our instructors is not on there. That's pretty funny. Okay. So what's so amazing is our Realty One Group orientation is now being done live every 3rd Thursday, but you can always get the video if somebody is confused on how to use SkySlope forms. Those videos are in Rock University. Then we have our Realty One Group 1 suite training. How many of you have your websites up? You have a free website. Okay, that's your training to add different pages, to have landing pages, to get QR codes, to add different widgets, whatever you want on your website, to use your CRM. You have a free CRM, right? Are you using the tools you have available to you? So there's a lot of stuff there. Then this is what's crazy. Okay, I've got 4 here. There are 2 more than this, right? So 11/6, the Canva 101 was last week. Tomorrow is Open House Success, a 7-day prep approach. So that's like really planning to do that open house, working the neighborhood, finding out who's living nearby, what they're looking for, what the movement in the area is, all sorts of things that help you to really do a deep dive and understand the community if you're going to do an open house there. On the 18th is optimizing your Instagram profile for maximum views. How many of you have an Instagram account? All right, I'm going to reach out to you because we've got one for the office and we want to start making it more active. So we need to start working on that. And Barb's going to help me with that. So we're going to get that up and running for 2025. All right, on the 20th, intro to Facebook ads. How many of you have bought a Facebook ad in the last year? Okay. How many of you have properties that have ever listed a property that would have been a good winter home? Right? How many of you have used Facebook to advertise to, I don't know, Chicago, Philadelphia, right? That's the point of something like that, because you can advertise in areas where when they're, I don't know, in under 4 feet of snow, Arizona's looking mighty nice at that time of year, right? So that's your opportunity to take a peek at those things and look at what is out there. But here's the crazy thing. So today they did their roadmap, successful business planning this morning, back to back with us. I plan to watch that this week. It will be on video, so you can watch that version of it. I'm going to be hosting one of those before the end of the year. If you want to wait for that, that's fine. And then on the 19th next week, we're going to jump on board for their social media mastery, because I think it's really important for all of us to take some time to understand social media and how we can use it in our businesses. So no, I think the 10 a.m. is our time. Interesting. I will ask Justin. Thank you. I don't know. Look at Wednesday. I'll let you know what our Arizona time is. Yeah. I thought those were 10. The others were at 10:30. But it's saying Nevada. So Nevada time, we're with their Nevada time right now.
Nevada's an hour. I know this is my assistant.
Okay. I'll believe you. All right. We'll have to figure out what those times are, because these are all saying 10:30 and then these two are saying 10 a.m. So I'll double check that and make sure we got the right times. Thank you for bringing that up. Is she occupied? Somebody occupy her, will you? Cat.
Cat.
Nope, I don't want her.
We don't want. Hey, guys.
Thanks. Thank you, Mandy. Mandy got the clue on that one. Thank you. So look, it's that time of year to offer happy holidays to our office admins. Heather and Kat have been amazing this year. And Louise is coming in just a few minutes, just so you know, she's coming in to watch Mandy. But please watch my emails. You will get them today or tomorrow. And yes, I'll mention that. But the emails will show how you can donate to just give a big thanks to what they've done. For those that don't realize how much they do, you have no idea the number of reports, the CDIs, all those things that they manage, as well as people coming into the office and trying to direct your mail and your deliveries and everything else to you. They really do a lot. And I believe if you didn't know, Heather is on vacation this week and her birthday card is going around. Her birthday is this Friday. I see the birthday card in the middle of the table. Yes. Was the 9th? Okay. So when she comes in this afternoon, you can say happy birthday to Louise. So, but thank you. I just wanted to sneak that in there. Okay. The calendar is in the newsletter. You can bring her back in. So, I've tried to add a few other things that are going on, and I'll try to get those in there so you can see them on that calendar, and try to get them on our Wednesday update. Yes.
How many actual classes for continuing education do we normally have for a month? Because I'm not seeing hardly. I've seen one.
We normally have just one free CE class offered each month. Because of time,
You guys don't have time?
we don't have time.
Melissa, Justin just said 10 a.m. PST, so 11 a.m. Arizona.
Okay, thank you. So, yeah, so our managers normally teach our classes. I brought in a special guest, Jacqueline Bushko, to teach the fire, deed fraud and water last month. So it was a great class. If you didn't get a chance to take it, it was offered in Glendale as well the month before. So it just depends on when brokers have availability to do that. So I have to finish my licensing to pick up a class to teach, but I will start doing that next year. But it's a lot of time right now. So yeah, but you always have a free class. You have a free class offered by Dodds every month. Right. Okay. But those are always offered, and there are other CE opportunities, but we offer a free one. A lot of them have been in Scottsdale, so we show them to you on the thing. We try to make you aware of them. So,
I'm aware of them. I've been there. I like
Okay.
the in person.
Yep. Yep.
Just asking if I was missing something.
nope, it's usually about one. All right, how many of you have been to our YouTube channel? Thank you. We please go and join. Let's start going through our lovely guests here. Kim, come on up and tell us about Old Republic Home Protection. And your new. Yes.
Hi, everybody. As you know, I've been talking about our new plan coming into effect. It does go into effect November 15th, so very soon. I've put the plans in front of you. One of the things that I want to make you aware of is that our prices really didn't change much. The variance at most is $10 on the condo, townhome, mobile prices, and then on our platinum plan, on single family, it only went up $5. So not a huge ordeal. If you have quoted our old plan pricing for anything, we will honor that through the end of the year. So you don't have to worry about changing something that you've already factored into a contract. I want to let you know that starting January, there's going to be some new changes again to HVAC and refrigerant. They're called A2L refrigerants, and I'll be honest, I know just enough right now to be kind of dangerous. We're going to get some training in January when we go to our national sales meeting, and we'll have a little more information. But basically, this is a system that has been used in Asia for the last 30 years. It's now coming to the US. So these A2L refrigerants are going to be what we are converting to. What that will mean to you is if we have systems that fail and need to be replaced, they will be replaced with this new system. Unless, now let's say you just have a portion of an AC unit that fails and we can source old equipment, not old, but and maybe there's equipment out there that we can still source to keep that person running on the current refrigerant, we'll do that. But at some point, and we don't anticipate it'll be more than 6 months, that we won't be able to do that. So one of the ways that Old Republic has addressed that, and this is something that I haven't seen any other home warranties adopting yet, is typically a home warranty company will not replace something that is working, right? We'll replace what's broken. In this case, if some portion of the AC unit, let's say a condenser fails and it needs to be replaced and that new refrigerant has to be introduced, then we also have to replace the air handler. We are going to cover the cost of that air handler. But what the consumer will come out of pocket for are modifications and any modifications associated with putting that new component in for that part that was working. So that's huge because that is going to save your clients thousands of dollars. One thing I want to say is that going into next year, I would absolutely, if there's any way possible that it fits into the budget, do the platinum plan. I can think of just right now off the top of my head, $6,000 in additional limits that you're getting for a very small increase in price from $630 to $750. There are more than $6,000 in limits and coverages that are on that platinum plan, including up to $1,000 in modifications. So if somebody finds themselves in that situation of having to get their AC unit replaced, and those modifications are, you know, they're probably going to exceed $1,000, but it sure is nice to know that on that platinum plan, we've built $1,000 in for those mods. So maybe a little confusing. And like I say, I'll know more in January. If there's more questions, I can kind of go into answering those. But I just wanted to make you aware of the fact that going into next year, our platinum plan is definitely going to be your best bet. And at the very minimum, I would say go gold. Gold is kind of our standard and we sell that most often. But gold does not include those mods covers, the modifications for if people do have to have those systems replaced.
So interesting comment about this new air conditioning system, right? If you're thinking about replacing your air conditioner, hold off until January to get the new equipment rather than going with the stuff that, guess what, isn't going to be able to be supported for very long.
Yeah, if you can nurse it along, if it's possible, I would do that. There's been a lot of questions about this new refrigerant being more flammable and it's scaring people. Again, this is something that's been used in Asia for the last 30 years. These new systems, and there's two different refrigerants that fall under this A2L refrigerant. Depending on the system that is purchased and installed will determine which of those two refrigerants are used. These new systems have safeties built in. So if something were to break or leak or stop working, there are systems built in that would keep these from being a flammable situation. So again, I'll know more later, but there you have it. And if you have any questions at all, please let me know. And the contracts are in front of you. So if you have any questions about pricing, they're on the backside.
Yeah, there's some new ones that have been set out. We've
Yeah.
got some more. up
Yeah,
there.
you're all stocked and loaded. Yeah, and if anybody would like a PDF sent to them, you're getting emails from me probably monthly with the new PDFs attached. But if you don't see it and you want it, just shoot me an email and I'll make sure you get them. And they include this time, Joni, the terms and conditions again in the actual contract. So we all complained big time about that and they brought it back. So. Well, no, it doesn't talk about the new refrigerant coming, but what it does address is the fact that we will cover the working parts if in fact those need to be replaced. And I will say this also at the minimum, if you go with the gold plan at least, we still have no per pound or dollar limit on refrigerant if in fact a repair has to happen and refrigerant needs to be replaced. So know this, on those old systems, as those things become less and less available, those costs will go way up. So it's a big deal to have that, at least the gold plan, so that refrigerant is covered by us anyway. We covered it, no dollar, no per pound limit on that. So big deal to have at least gold plan, at the best platinum. Yeah. Anybody else? Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys.
Barb, come join us. She's got a whole new program for us. Well, not new, but so Barb is with Epic Lending. Yes.
Happy Tuesday after Veterans Day.
Yes.
So Barb Spitzak with Epic Lending. As you know, we are here for you guys with any capacity in lending that you need. So even in addition to this new program that I'm going to talk about, Mike Dezzano and I are here to answer your questions when you're with a client. If you have any lending scenarios that you need, we can do that for you. The new List and Lock program that I just passed out, it used to be just the $999 cost to lock in. Now they have two versions, one that's only $49, and it can be paid by either the listing agent or the seller. And that helps you advertise rates on social media and on other platforms. There's marketing materials that will help you do that. There's a link on my site. So if you go to epiclending.com/mysite/Barb-Spitzak, it's not very easy, but it's on my signature and I can also send you guys the link. But under that, you can go to sell, and under that, you can just type in the address of your listing or any listing. And you can kind of work with the concessions that your seller is willing to do. So say your seller, upfront tells you as the listing agent, hey, I'm willing to do 3% at whatever point in time. But instead of lowering the rate of the house or the sale price of the house, you can do this and advertise the lower rate that they could get. Because I know that's what's hindering a lot of buyers is the rate. And a success story that Mike Dezzano had down in Tucson was the house listed at 360,000 was on the market for like 2 months. They had lowered it to 348,000. They pulled it off. They did this list and lock, put it back on. For the right scenarios, maybe not every scenario, but it's something to look at anyway and keep in your tool house, right? We still have the rate rebound program, which is good up to 5 years. If someone locks in at a higher rate, they have up to 5 years to refinance at no lender fees and $1,000 towards title. And then the other big program is our PLS program for second homes and investment properties. Our rates blow Fannie and Freddie out of the water, less points and cost. and lower interest rates. So reach out for scenarios and then that way you know what you're working with. So any questions, let me know. Barb Spitzhog. Thank you.
I think something important, if you are working with a buyer and they already have their lender in place, it's called a second look. Just let them talk, suggest that they talk to another lender to get a second opinion. Because some of these lending programs are so different and can really make a world of difference for your clients to put it all together. So give.
And it can be a
Michael-
non-invasive second look. They don't have to go through the whole process. If they've already done it and they kind of have a general idea of what their credit score is, what things look like. You know, it's a non-invasive second look just so they can kind of feel comfortable with whoever they're using. Or they might be like, oh, I didn't know you had that program. I would love to use that kind of thing. So, thank you. Have a great day, everybody.
Okay, all right, Melinda. Special thanks to Melinda and Rock Title for our lovely breakfast. If you've not had something to
you.
eat, please, please go
Yes,
grab
yeah,
a bite.
some
It's-
great food.
Oh my gosh, what
I am so excited. Can't wait. I was wondering when my turn was coming. So anyway, welcome everybody. I'm so glad that you're here. And I'm very, these are open houses, but we're going to talk about Popeyes really quick. I just noticed that we're completely out of door jammers and this office is using them. And if you need them, please email me, call me, run upstairs. I'm going to stock them up. I had a sachet that smells like pumpkin spice. It smells so good that some people have actually called me and texted me and said, where did you get that? Because you can smell it from clear across the room. And I got it on Amazon, of course, and you get like a whole packet of them for like, I don't know, $10 or something. And then this is the time of year for you guys really to connect. And being that the weather is good and, you know, you can have a friends giving. So there's a little game there. You can invite people and it is so much fun. And I believe that was like $20, but it's a great gift. People love it. And I also found if you have a family that has a lot of children, I found children's bingo, and it's Thanksgiving order and it's stickers. And that's a lot of fun to play at a table and entertain the kids because you know when you're eating a meal, you got to entertain the kids so the adults can enjoy themselves because they need to be entertained. So everybody's been using those and I'm really excited and this is the time of year to use it. And now we're going to talk about open houses. So everybody is doing open houses and it's the time to do it and it's an important time to do it. The weather's good. So I was thinking and thinking and thinking, and then I'm like, you know what? We need to have 2 different open house kits. We've always had an open house kit, but I've been like, it's okay, but I really didn't care for it too much. So we have now what we call your general open house kit. And all you have to do is email me, run upstairs, or tell me I'll deliver one down there. But we'll just kind of go through it. It's a beautiful presentation. It's got your sign-in sheets for people to sign in. It's got a rate sheet. It's got the 50% off escrow sheet. It's got how to stage your home. It's got your opening escrow checklist. It's got who pays closing costs, policy comparison sheet. You've got the Rock University. You've got a home seller guide, a bone seller guide. You've got water. You've got pins. You've got a car freshener, you've got an open house, you name it, it's in there. And this is just your basic one. So just so I keep you guys all intrigued, we also have this luxury open house kit. And I'm going to leave it here, both of these for you to see. Please do not take these ones, but you're welcome. These are for homes that are around 500,000 and above. They're for your luxury home and you can carry food in it because of course you have to take food. There's water, there's a can opener on here. And in every luxury open house kit, there's going to be like a special thing. And in this one, we have some golf socks. So you can give them to someone who comes in, you can give it to the homeowner. If you want to give this to the homeowner after the open house, you're more than welcome to do whatever you want to do with it. But it's great quality, guys, and it just makes you look good and you can carry your stuff in here. And it's important to have great tools when you're doing an open house. And we are here to help you. So please reach out, text, call, come upstairs. We will always have these available upstairs for you to get. So if you need one in a quick pinch, you got it. And I'm not going to take any more of your time. Go ahead.
luxury for that? double
About
wide?
500,000 and above.
Oh, cool, that's everything.
I mean, I'm telling you, it does everything in it. It's great. You do luxury, you know how you're carrying your stuff and you have to take food, and then you can actually give it to the homeowner. And I'm telling you, it's a beautiful bag once you open it and see. It's
I don't know
beautiful.
which house you're really willing to set these days under 500,000, so I'm quite excited.
There you go. So we're here to help you. I'm so excited to see that everybody's using these tails. And I think we're gonna have a great 2025. I really do. And we're here for
There
you.
you go. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Wait, wait, here.
Right on.
Don't take.
Okay, I got it. Yeah. don't lose it.
All right, we are just about on the hour, but let's take just a few minutes. Who has any buyers or seller needs that you want to share? Joni?
I have a listing, over at Villages North, which is in North Scottsville, it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo. It's actually under 450,000. It's been remodeled. It's an interior unit. It's a gated community. And the, HOAs are fairly reasonable. They're around almost 300, but it's covers a lot. Cute unit. And it's like at Thompson, Peak, and 100th Street. So if anybody knows of anybody that wants to get into a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo in Scottsdale, North Scottsdale, please let me know.
Great.
No, it's not scary.
Okay, upstairs unit, all right? Yes. Yep.
I have a rental coming on the market. It's conveniently located next to Enchilada.
Sorry, folks online, just got a condo at Enchiladas.
Regional Avenue Northern, 2-bedroom, the tenant just moved out in October, so the owner's having it painted and whatever else, there's enough moving to do, and it's 2-bedroom, 2-bath. And it's going to be listed for somewhere around, 1,700 a month, and it's premium deal.
2-bedroom, 2-bath for $1,600 near Enchiladas. Awesome. Sorry about that for folks online. Anyone else? No? Yes? No? All right. So what we're gonna do, because Mandy is our guest speaker, but we're going to just take a quick break here real quick to let people go get some coffee and something to eat, and come back. Why don't we give 5 minutes? Folks online, hang on. I'm not going to shut this down. I'm just gonna pause the recording.
Right now, it's 448.5, but